It's 7:01. I'll call to order the City of Brainerd Personnel and Finance Committee. We'll start the meeting with introductions.
Alderman at Large Kevin Stunek.
Connie Hillman, City Finance Director.
Jennifer Bergman, City Administrator.
Alderman Ward 3, Tiffany Stingline.
Mike Festo, Police Chief.
David Chansky, Community Development Director.
Teresa Burke, Brainerd Dispatch.
Andrew DeShano, DW Jones.
Skip DeShano, DW Jones.
And Gabe Johnson, Chair of the committee. We have 7 items on our agenda tonight. Safety and Public Works only has 2, but we are going to go faster than they are.
Well, it's because Kelly's in charge. He likes to yak.
But 7 items. First one is the reason the gentlemen from DW Jones are here, and that's to adopt the resolution of support for the use of tax increment financing for a rental housing development project. So who's presenting?
I'll start it off.
Okay.
Just that DW Jones is looking at doing business as 805 Housing LLLP. They've submitted preliminary drawings for a 36-unit low-income affordable housing project in the former Thrifty White location. They are going to be applying to the Minnesota Housing Finance Association to get some assistance with the project. And they rank the projects if there's funding as a local contribution, and one of those ways is to get TIF. And so they have gone before the Planning and Zoning Commission. Attached was the finding of facts to the commission, as well as Baker Tilly with the assumptions that they use to generate the dollar amount of the TIF for the application. So I'll turn it over now to Andrew and Skip.
Okay, wherever you guys are most comfortable, you can come up to the table or stay there.
Okay. Not the head. Middle is way better. So,
That's why we don't sit at the end.
the chair. That makes sense. Good evening. Appreciate your time here tonight. As mentioned, I'm Skip DeShano, President of DW Jones. Andrew is here. He's in charge of our development. And first, we're going to explain a little bit about our proposal. And I'm going to do some basics about the high level of what's going on. Andrew's going to talk a little more detail about the building itself. We found out you guys did not get those plans and so forth, so Andrew made some copies that we'll hand out. Mm-hmm. And then I'll come back and talk a little bit about, more specifically about the resolution and the TIF district that we're asking for a soft approval on. So just a bit about DW Jones. We've developed about 1,700 units in northern Minnesota. We live in Walker. We only work in northern Minnesota. That's where we live and where we like to work. We also have a property management company, cleverly called DW Jones Management. And we manage about 120 buildings. We do get, with some of those buildings, we do get down to the outer rings of the Twin Cities, but about 3,500 units. And a mixture of affordable, market rate, senior, family, supportive housing, kind of across all the gamut. We do have some assisted livings, but we have another management company that takes care of those. We currently have a site office that does our property management in this area in Baxter. If we get funded with this project, we fully intend to move into one of the commercial spaces in 805 Laurel. So that is our goal to make happen. We currently manage 9 properties in the Brainerd-Baxter area. We manage Marsh Run, Valley View Townhomes, Trail Ridge Townhomes, Ridgeview 1 and 2, Oak Crest Manor 1 and 2, College Drive, and Excelsior Court. So that's part of the reason why we have a site office down here. And then they manage stuff all the way over to Mora, over to Pelican Rapids. Quite a big area that office takes care of. 805 Laurel is an affordable tax credit project. We like that better than low income.
Makes more sense.
It's an affordable tax credit property. It's going to have income restrictions that range from 30% area median income to 60%. I want to make a clarification. At the Planning Commission, I did say we would go as high as 80%. I've recently learned there's been some new IRS releases of information about income averaging. That's what it's called when you have this range of incomes, of which tax credit syndicators do not like, and they don't want to do income averaging right now until this gets clarified. So for our application, we thought it was best to back off the few units that were going to be at 80% so that we did not have an issue with that. what basically meant is if you had, for whatever reason, a unit that became non-compliant, it meant you had to pay back all the tax credits for the whole project. It's absurd what it is, and that's why the tax credit syndicator is slammed on the brakes. Just for reference, Crow Wing County, a family of 4 at 60% area median income would be $44,700 at move-in. And the nice thing about this program is it's an at move-in threshold income restriction. So a person can better themselves, the spouse can get a job, they can get higher pay, they don't ever get kicked out, the rent doesn't necessarily adjust based on their income, the rent is the rent. And we often find that we have residents that move from our housing into single-family homes. Not always, but we do have some of those. Our rents, we're looking at rents on 1 bedrooms from $650 to $720, 2 bedrooms from $780 to $880, and 3 bedrooms at $954. We've designed 805 Laurel to include 4 high-priority homeless units in there. This is part of not a requirement, but Minnesota Housing Finance almost makes it a requirement for points to get a project funded. We're working with Lutheran Social Services here in Brainerd to oversee those 4 units. I believe College Drive has homeless units with Lutheran Social Service as well that we manage and they oversee. And the HRA is providing 8 units of project-based Section 8, so there would be 8 units that rents would be adjusted based on people's incomes, and the balance would be affordable workforce housing units. As was mentioned, we're applying to Minnesota Housing Finance for the financing, and it's extremely competitive. Typically, it's 4-to-1 applications to awards. And based on the pre-applications, it's slightly higher than that this year. We'll see how many applications actually get sent in. They're due next week, the 15th. We're cutting this right under the wire. Awards are announced at the end of December, so it's a long period that we won't hear anything, and they're very tight-lipped. If we were awarded in December, we would expect to close August, September of 2022 and open roughly August of 2023. So it's sort of a long process before we get to be able to actually house people. We are estimating a project cost of around $12 million. So that's sort of the higher end information. And Andrew's.
Yeah, I'll pass out, we've got some floor plans here.
I'm guessing the plans will show us stuff that you're gonna remodel the building or tear it down and rebuild
Tear it down and rebuild.
in the same footprint,
You get a bigger footprint.
bigger footprint, probably go to the east.
I believe.
Yeah, he's taking up.
You can see on this first page.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the existing building and how it extends.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I figured that this would show me that.
So, this first page is the site plan. It's overlaid over what's existing. And this will be a 4-story elevator building. The first floor is the underground garage. The main level is all 100% commercial, and then it's 3 levels of apartment units, 36 units on top of that. And so what we're proposing, it'll be reducing this parking lot a little bit down to 33 stalls. And with our building makeup is about 75% 2s and 3 bedrooms. We thought that was adequate to service both the building and the commercial space below it, or above it. And then to get into the parking garage, that is on the, let's see, the southeast side, and that'll be accessed through South 9th Street, off of that corner there. And then all the commercial space will be accessed just from the street, from South 8th and Laurel Street. So the next page here, on top you can see the garage. So there's 37 stalls. And it's a conditioned parking garage for the tenants. There'll be bike racks for them also. All that's included in rent. Then the The plan below that is gonna be the commercial space on the first floor, where we'll have up to 5 businesses, along with some of the apartment amenities. Each of the commercial space will be accessed directly from the street. The tenants will enter in the center of the building through the vestibule. And within there, we've got a couple amenities. The community room, which is on the north side of the building, and that'll have a kitchen, a living room area, an entertainment center for them. And they can rent that out and reserve it at no cost to them. Then below that, there's restrooms and then a small fitness area also. The next page here, so this is the second, third, and fourth floor. So this is, the building is has a mix of 3 studios, 6 1-bedrooms, 18 2-bedrooms, and 3 3-bedrooms. Each floor,
9 3-bedrooms.
9 3-bedrooms. And each floor will have a community laundry room and refuse area for trash and recycling. The units will have open floor plans and a full range of appliances that include dishwashers. The only difference is on the 3 bedrooms, they will have in-unit laundry. The 2s, 1s, and studios, we use the community laundry area. And then as far as the heating and everything, these will be a hydronic baseboard, and then there will be through-wall AC units for the cooling. And then the last page here, these are the elevations. And so you can see we've got the large storefront windows and entrances for each of the commercial spaces on the first floor. All the units will have private individual patio units off of it. The first floor, it's gonna have 15-foot sidewalls that are made out of precast, and then it's gonna all be panelized and stick-built on top of that for the apartment units. And as far as the finishes on the building, it's gonna be a mix of brick, mostly for that first floor, and then horizontal, vertical siding, corrugated steel, and some flat panel steel also. So I know that was a little quick, but
And you said $14 million?
12.
$12 million, okay.
That is with the commercial spaces at an envelope state, not built out.
Have you taken into consideration the cost of building in the next 2.5 years or 2?
We have built that into it.
Okay.
And Minnesota Housing Finance encouraged us to do that.
Okay.
And we've also built in prevailing wages for the construction as well.
Okay.
Well, yeah, at our last HRA meeting, we voted on the same similar TIF resolution, and then the resolution for the Section 8 vouchers. And I said there, and I'll say it again, that this is just very exciting. This would be the tallest building downtown Brainerd, and the biggest by square footage too. And it would just be a really, really cool addition to Laurel Street, especially that block between 8th and 9th that has had that empty building there
Dead built.
for years. So this is just such an exciting development. So I think whatever we can do as far as resolutions of support for TIF or
I agree.
housing choice vouchers or whatever, I'm all on board with doing what we can to help this project move forward, and hopefully the people in St. Paul or Washington DC or wherever
Not that far,
are
just St. Paul.
partially as excited as I
I've
am
got one
about
question and I've got a motion.
it. Ask your question.
Why Brainerd?
So
You got your fingers in that too.
I'll say.
Yeah, she's been working on us for a long time.
When he mentioned Trail Ridge, Valley View,
Yep,
College
yep,
Drive,
yep.
those are all partially owned by the HRA, so he's the management company for that. So Jennifer's been talking to him for years as the HRA executive director. and trying
I
to
think
get
there's a
this done.
shady crap going on.
So,
All right.
and Eric kind of inherited it at HRA, but then Jennifer's also just been dealing with it as city administrator, so this
Right.
is, for as exciting as it is for me or us to learn about now, I mean, Jennifer's been pushing Skip to do this for a long time.
As I sit here quietly at the end of the table.
So what took you so long?
Part of it
You could
was,
have had it built by now.
we liked the site and thought it would make for a great location. The site, we couldn't afford it. And what's made it a bit more affordable, not a lot more affordable, but a bit more affordable, is the triple net lease that's on there from Thrifty White.
Okay.
Phases out about when we would be ready to close.
Okay.
So the price before had all this rent built into it, which did us no good because we wanted to tear the building down.
Right.
It wouldn't work because I think it was first listed for 1.2 million when they had like 3 years worth of these nice rent payments for nobody using the building.
Yeah.
And now it's running out. So
Okay.
it just didn't work. And then we looked at other possibilities and ran into roadblocks there. The stars sort of lined up. And
Perfect.
it's fortunate, this is a really good year to have an application in there. The legislature has been pretty kind to housing this go around. There's extra $100 million in housing infrastructure bonds. There's extra money that came from the federal government. Hopefully there's enough things that are lined up. And this project points out real well. There's a lot of things that give us points outside of TIF because it's in a qualified census tract. It has a good walk score. It's in an opportunity zone.
So you're pretty confident.
I can't deal, that gets a person in trouble.
All right.
And
Tiffany, do you have any questions? or-
No.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the attached resolution of support for the use of tax increment financing for the rental housing development project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I guess I have one more question. Do you guys want to present this information to the full city council upstairs?
we plan on going to the meeting. We'll be happy to do.
Okay, I'll
whatever you want us
ask
to do.
Kelly to recognize you guys because you can give the same presentation or similar presentation to the full council, the full body, so everybody sees
You
it.
just don't want to do it
And gets
yourself.
one of these. Well, I wouldn't be able to recap it. I don't have the notes.
They haven't been updated, have they, from the planning commission?
What's
The
that?
drawings are the same ones you presented?
They're the same ones, yeah.
Okay. I'll send Sean the digital so we can put them up there.
Oh, cool. Thank you, David.
Sure, we'd be happy to do it.
Okay, so yeah, go upstairs and we'll have you give us 10, 15 minutes there too.
Okay.
All right, and we have the motion to approve.
Five.
Well, this took about 16.
Yeah, I noticed the paper said 5 minutes. So I called Jennifer, I go, well, what are we supposed to say in 5 minutes?
Whatever was on that sheet.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. We've got 12 minutes to do 6 items. And
You
that
got it.
averages
You've
out
got
at
30 seconds there.
Okay.
Number 2, we've got a resignation of Community Service Officer Hunter Furstenberg.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. June 17th, Community Service Officer Hunter Furstenberg submitted a letter of resignation effective July 5th. With Hunter's resignation, leaving us with 3 community service officers, and also in addition to one of ours that are probably going to be taking a job with Cloquet PD, so he'll be gone soon, leaving us with 2 CSOs, which will both be departing to attend college at the end of August. So, recommendation is to accept CSO Hunter Furstenberg's resignation with regret and authorize filling the vacancy at the current rate of $14 per hour.
I will move that we accept CSO Furstenberg's resignation with regret and authorize filling the vacancy at the current hourly rate of $14.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion, any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next item, Chief.
June 17th, Officer Brendan Anderson submitted a letter of resignation effective immediately. He was in step 4 of the field training program. Thus, resignation makes our current staffing level at 23 of our budgeted 27. So at this time, we'd like to accept Officer Brendan Anderson's resignation effective June 17th of 2021.
I make a motion to accept Officer Brandon Anderson's resignation effective June 17th, 2021.
Second.
And authorize backfill.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you want that?
Yeah. Let's just, and request to hire.
Well, this process is different, the hiring process. We already have a couple of people going through the conditional job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So it just got
And you'll
might
have
as well.
eligibility
All right.
tests too, so.
Well, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If you're none, we vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Item number 4.
All right. something better here. So people even.
We're hiring people.
Yeah. So June 7th, the city council approved the retirement of police records management lead Sandra Anderson, and staff conducted an internal posting process and 2 individuals applied. Staff recommends to promote Miranda Halverson to the police records management lead position effective July 7th, 2021. Miranda has been employed with the city since 2015 and was previously promoted to police records management technician position in 2017, and prior to that she was a CSO. So pursuant to the employee policy manual, Miranda should be placed on step 5 of the police records management lead wage grid of $27.53 per hour for this promotion. With Miranda's promotion, at the first goes, staff is requesting authorization to start the hiring process to backfill Miranda's position of police records management technician position.
I move that we authorize the promotion of Miranda Halverson to police records management lead position effective July 7th. Further, that she be placed at step 5 of the police records management lead wage grid, and that we authorize staff to start the hiring process to backfill the police records management technician position.
We want 2 motions into it.
We can do it in one.
I think I do one.
That's,
Okay,
yeah.
second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I have one more question for you. What was I gonna ask? I forgot, I came here tonight ready to ask you.
You only got a minute?
Well, if I think of it, are you coming upstairs? Maybe I can ask you. Oh, yeah, I read.
Too late.
Not a question. I just read in the paper about the fire in Northeast and
Booyah.
your officer. Booyah, one right there. There was one.
Everybody quit doing booyahs because they said we can't get it now. It's July 1st. It's keep working hard. So that was
So you're wondering who'll get that award this month?
well, there's a competition now.
All right. That brings us to the next item, which is the Vca Joint Powers.
Yes, and so the current master joint power agreement with the state of Minnesota through the Department of Public Safety, BCA, and our Board of City Prosecution has expired. But due to COVID, we were receiving an extension. It actually expired in the end of April, almost into May, but we were granted the extension. This agreement is for the city on behalf of the city prosecutors for their necessary access to the CGADN network so they can continue to provide prosecution services to the city of Brainerd. So this is approve the attached resolution authorizing the city administrator and mayor to sign and execute the master joint power agreement and amendment for the city prosecution access to the CJDN.
And I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, first time we've had 4 items from the police department on our agenda, would have been done 15 minutes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Approved memo of agreement for accounting supervisor Pernula to perform accounting 1 duties.
Yes, so BPU's accounting supervisor, Julie Batters, has announced her retirement. Her retirement is March 25th, 2022. It is 9 months from when she submitted her retirement notice. There are specific projects that happen at certain times through the year. So the BPU Commission had actually recommended that she give that much notice. We have advertised for the position based on the BPU direction, and we have promoted Jana Pernula to this position of accounting supervisor. Her promotion is effective July 5th. With that said, she is still going to be doing her old duties as the accountant 1 position. That is a union position. Normally unions don't like it when you have non-union supervisors performing union work. So we have submitted this memorandum of agreement to the union, asking them to review it and look it over, basically to ensure they have no issues with her performing that work. I have not heard back from the union yet. Part of the reason why I wanted to bring this tonight is I am on vacation at your next council meeting. So I wanted to at least show this to you, allow me to continue to negotiate with the union, and if there's nothing major, just to allow it to be approved, basically approving the concept.
And BPU
Yes,
Commission
at the
looked
last
at this
commission,
and
the
approved it
BPU Commission
already.
did approve it and recommended that the council approve it as well.
I move that we approve the attached memorandum of agreement between the city and IBEW union, subject to the union negotiation, and allow Ms. Pernilla to continue to perform account one duties, which is covered by the union contract until March 25th, 2022.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, we vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion carries. The final item is a resolution for authorization of submission for local recovery ARPA funds.
Yes.
Connie?
So basically, we have to get our funding through the state, not through the feds. The state has put out saying, please submit an application to the MMB if you are interested in these funds. We don't know how much you're going to be getting yet because we're going to see who applies. You can probably get 50% at the end of July, first part of August, and the other 50% in a year from now. We've kind of gone over the 4 broad categories of how we can spend it. We're still looking for additional information. The biggest takeaway is take our time, take our time, take our time, and utilize all facets of the ARP bill. And so this is a resolution to authorize the city administrator and the finance director to submit the application to the state and to be the contacts for the city regarding the ARP dollars.
And I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. One question, I saw Minneapolis and Duluth are getting about $700 per capita. Is that about what we can expect in Brainerd?
We were expecting to get about $100 to $105 per capita.
Well, that's like a fraction of what Minneapolis and Duluth are getting.
But they probably are getting direct allocations. from
They
the
are
government.
because they're a community development block grant
Have you
entitlement.
been to Minneapolis lately?
Well, they're not gonna use their.
There's nothing there.
Oh, yes, they are.
Is one gonna apply?
I think they just said that they have to. Hire some more police officers.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. We're adjourned. We got 3 minutes to get up.